Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mowers will practically build themselves. Well, folks, it's Mad Dog Merv, and today, well, we are taking the Blazer out on another little excursion. We're going to try and get the tires dirty, get a little bit of dirt road here and there. Today we're going to look at my recent trip to the Little Sahara Recreation Area. And as you can see by the videos earlier there, we didn't get there till about 11:30 at night. This is about an hour and a half south and a little bit west of where I live in Salt Lake City. And we went with a group. There was 4 of us echelon going down there. And man, that wind was really bad. So I got there, I got unloaded. I got the back of the Blazer set up and ready to sleep. So I'm going to show you what it's like in the light, how I sleep back there. This is a sleeping bag that's unzipped. I can just throw that over if I get cold in the middle of the night. And you can kind of see I've got my pad here. This memory foam pad fits perfect all the way up to the front. Had to cut a little bit out there for the spare tire. You see it's nice and dark in there. In the middle of the day with the tinted windows. And I got one of my water jugs as a phone holder so you can watch a movie and pillows. It's just really nice. Got one of my blackout blankets that's only partially covering the front window right now, but it works really good there in the evening. And of course my little JBL speaker so I can listen to music. So yeah, kind of a nice little setup. It only took about 30 minutes and I was ready for bed. And you can see with the little bit of light that I have from this small lantern that I carry back there, everything was great. I was comfortable. I was warm. I have a great blanket. And, well, I slept pretty good that night, even though the wind was howling pretty good. So come morning time, well, my son Thomas had gotten this little go-kart, and the boys were out there playing around in it. There's my rig and some of the rest of the folk stuff. And here's my little grandson Nick with a very warm cap and his bomber jacket and a blanket, and he's enjoying just being outdoors and enjoying the day. The girls had this electric-powered cart that they could just zip around in. It wasn't that fast, but man, they sure had a great time. My granddaughters did. You can see them here. They're just happy as could be. It was definitely something that a 3- and 4-year-old could operate safely and well. However, when it came time to get into the go-kart, safety was definitely an issue, so we made sure we had helmets for the littles. And here's Thomas with his go-kart and my granddaughter Aspen getting ready to go for a ride. We are at Little Sahara State Park, and well, some of the folks here are going to ride some 4-wheelers and whatnot, going to hit the sand dunes. Some of us are going to go exploring some of the mining towns and ghost towns around here. So I thought I'd show you folks the little area we've got here. We got a whole bunch of trailers with us. There's about 6 families here with all the dogs and equipment. So to start today's adventure, we are going to be going along what's called the the Alberta Slant Road. That's this road behind me here. And we're going to do some ghost rail tracking. We're going to be looking at the double loop that the Tintic Railway made through this area. We might even go through the Alberta Slant Tunnel. From what I understand, it was one of 3 tunnels. I only know of 2 tunnels that were along here. One of them is collapsed. So we're probably going to hit one of the tunnels. So stick with us and, well, let's check this out.
So here's an aerial image of the places that we're going to go today. So in the dotted line is the original rail grade. The red line is the route that we took. And the green areas are places that we stopped. So number 1 is this tunnel that we're going to go through. Number 2 is where this big trestle is. And number 3 is an area where the trestle curves around, crosses the road. Number 4 is another area where the old grade crossed the road and it went up to another area where there was a tunnel that had collapsed. We stayed in the red here. Number 5 will be a little area closer to Eureka where there's a little ore loading area. And then number 6, we didn't visit that, but we'll show a picture of it, if not in this video, in another video. And we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. So here we go. This is area number 1. Imagine doing this in a steam engine, this narrow little grade, going up to the tunnel. Pretty interesting. So here is this trestle, and we've talked about this before when I visited this area a couple of years ago, and I did a video on this. Just an amazing picture as far as I'm concerned. You see 5 different trains in this particular picture, which is really cool. Anyway, this is the area that we're now going to look at a little bit more in depth. Notice how there's very little vegetation in this area. This particular picture is taken after you would have gone past the trestle, looking backwards at it. So back towards where that first picture was taken. Again, another absolutely amazing picture as far as I'm concerned. And we'll look at these areas here on the road in just one moment. Now, one area I'd like to go look at was the embankments up here, but I didn't want to walk up there. It's snake season. I didn't want to try and take the truck up there. It's better to go with like an off-highway vehicle, 4-wheeler or something like that. But this is just an absolutely amazing picture of the trestle. Don't know what year it was built or abandoned. I think it was abandoned in the 1940s, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so right there about 40 yards in front of me, just as this hill crests, is where the rail line crossed. Well, it didn't really cross this road because this road wasn't here. But you can see the built up area there. You can see that cut where there was a small bridge. And this is the underneath part of where that photo was taken and where the train was going underneath. Here is the east bank of the where the trestle was. And here is the west bank right there. So pretty interesting. You can imagine having that trestle here in this area. This is the exact spot where the railroad came. You can see the fill area there. So this is really neat. I don't know if this concrete piece is part of maybe a base, a foundation for the trestle, but just behind that big pile of dirt there's a cut, and originally it went this way. You can see another cut up there, and way over there it was a big circle that it made, big curve. So this looks like the spot here where the lower loop comes. It's going to cross the road here and go on up.
So this is number 3 here on the map, where the circle or the loop crosses what's now the road and will go up and continue to rise to the west part of the embankment. And here it is. And I was really tempted to get out and walk this, but again, it's snake season, so I thought, being by myself, I better just throw caution to the wind, and we'll look at this some other time when I have a four-wheeler or something to that effect.
Now you can see the upper part of the loop. You can see the grade up there. In the distance.
So as we continue up just a little bit, there's this wide spot where it looks like somebody had set up camp. There's a little fire pit here. So I thought this was a good place to let Harold out and let him explore on his own for just a few minutes and let him do his business. And I just enjoyed this beautiful scenery.
Okay, so you can see there's a lower grade and an upper grade. And I believe that upper grade is the original. And at some point in time, they were able to tighten the loop, and they built this lower grade here. Don't know the year, but you can see how it goes and how it continues around this little canyon wall.
So just a little bit further down the road, we are going to be here at number 4, and we're going to take a look at this, which is where the original grade crossed what is now the road.
Now here's a great shot of this little ravine, and I guess there was a bridge here at one time, but you can see the main road up there at the very top, and you can see where, again, the railroad crosses where we're going here, and we're not going to be able to follow it, but it goes back up into another loop, and there's a tunnel back up in that area.
So here at number 4, we're going to leave the grade. We're going to take this little road that goes back to the main road and head back the main road until we get to this area where we can turn off and look at number 5. So you can see the main road to the left off in the distance, and very plainly you can see the railroad grade, how it curves up to this area here, and it makes a curve off to the right. Now there's some kind of an ore loading facility that is gone, you know, just a few cement foundations, but you can see the grade kind of above the cement foundations where it continues down towards Eureka. And following that rail grade for about 1.5 miles, it takes us to the little town of Eureka. And please stick with us for next week. We are going to cover part 2 of this journey, which is going to be the ghost town, or the little town of Eureka, and the museum that's there. So thanks for joining us.